With a little bit over a month left to go in the season, let's check out where everyone is in the NL. We'll start in the NL West with the Rockies. The Rockies are 50 and 85 and are one of the worst teams in baseball. Usually, when a team is this bad, the farm system will have some promise. That's exactly the case with this team. They have 6 prospects in the top 100 list, and recently drafted Charlie Condon leads their farm system. He's already a top 15 prospect, and he should be a starting outfield in Coors Field within the next couple of years. Next is the Giants. They've had a decent year. They've been around 500 all year. They've had a solid pitching core led by Blake Snell and Logan Webb. Next up is the Padres, who if the season ends today, would be in the playoffs. The Padres have been up and down all year, but they've been a lot better as of late. They obviously have a potent offense, but their pitching hasn't been the best. They'll look to play upset again in this year's playoffs. Next up are the D-backs, who are doing exactly what they did last year, get hot at the right time. They started off the season pretty slow and were having some serious World Series hangover, but they seem to have gotten back on the good foot. Next up are the Dodgers, who are the best team in baseball. The Dodgers, when it comes down to it, are just a super team. I don't know how, but they always find a way to dominate it in the regular season and stink it up in the playoffs. We'll see what happens this year, though, because if it's not a deep playoff push, Dave Roberts could be on the hot seat. In the NL Central, we'll start with the Pirates. Although they're in last place in the division right now, they have to be happy with this year. Paul Skeens has lived up to the hype and then some. He's already in contention for the Cy Young in his rookie year. This young team should be amazing in the next couple of years. Next up, we have the Cardinals, who have been very disappointing this year. They have an aging team, and it's sad to see that guys like Paul Goldschmidt are starting to decline after a lifetime of watching them. Next are the Reds, who have a good young core. Ellie De La Cruz took a step forward this year, and this young Reds roster will continue to impress for years to come. Next are the Cubs. The Cubbies had high expectations for this year after stealing coach Craig Counsell from the Brewers, and they have not met those expectations, though. Cubs fans have been unhappy with Craig Counsell and this team overall. The Cubs aren't a young team either, but they do have 2 Japanese players in Shota Imanaga, who had a great rookie year, and Seiya Suzuki, who has been very underrated this year. Finally is a surprise team of the NL, the Brewers. I picked them as my dark horse team of the year, and it paid off tremendously. The Brewers have not looked back since April 13th when they took over in first place of the division. We did a short about the Brewers last week, so check that out for a deeper dive into this team's success. Finally, the NL East. We'll start with the Marlins, who are the worst team in the National League. They started off this season horribly and have continued to suck. This team has shown no promise, and it's time to start another rebuild. Next are the Washington Nationals. Although they haven't been as good this year, watch out for them next year. They have a great young roster with guys like James Wood and CJ Abrams. This team will improve, and they'll probably be my dark horse candidate next year. Next up are the Mets. The Mets are started off the year slow, but they have seriously picked up the pace in these past couple months. This team is fighting for a spot in the playoffs. Next up are the Braves, who got killed by the injuries this year. They lost guys like Cy Young candidate Spencer Strider, reigning MVP Ronald Acuna Jr., and recently, star third baseman Austin Riley caught the injury bug. Tough break for this Braves team, who had high expectations coming into the year. The last team for today, the Philadelphia Phillies. The Fightins have ridden their home field advantage and hitting bombs to the top of the NL East. They'll be a force to be reckoned with come playoff time with that potent home field advantage. And that's all for this time from Section 101. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you thought of today's episode. Keep an eye out for our full-length podcast coming out this weekend on NFL predictions. This has been Ronnie Decker, and I'll see you next time.